Hello, everyone, and welcome back after this long Labor Day weekend. The 3-day weekend that was just a wonderful experience out here in East Tennessee, up near the mountain ranges and around this area. The lakes were packed. People were out and about and having a great time in restaurants, churches, and the like. We all enjoyed it, even though there's a lot going on. And as you can see behind me, Kaiser has just been out and about and is settling in on his little couch there for this Kaiser Report. And thank you so much for coming back to the Kaiser Report after a beautiful weekend. And a lot is going on. Labor Day was wonderful this year. I think there was a lot of goodness going around, especially if you were out driving anywhere this weekend. You'd quickly realize that gasoline prices were affordable again, and you could go out and do a day's drive and get around and see different areas and different places that were a little further away than when gas was $4 a gallon. Remember Joe Biden? I do. It wasn't good under the last 4 years, but now the work of Donald Trump and his cabinet of very talented people are coming to fruition, and we're seeing the changes take place. The Democrats, however, will never be satisfied with anything if it was connected with the name Trump in any way, fashion, or accept any of the good things that are going on, such as the cleanup of crime that is taking place right now in D.C. Because of someone caring enough to put an end to the crime rather than applaud the crime and bail the criminals out as they have been doing all along. It's incredible what's going on, and the fight in Chicago continues on whether or not that Trump's involvement there with not only ICE in clearing out some of the criminal element that came in to this country illegally, which has upset a lot of the ethnic communities in Chicago, want to see law and order being brought back, but it's being fought tooth and nail by the Democratic regime that covers that city right now, along with the governor that cares more about a Big Mac than he does about the people that live in his state and are subjected to this crime and criminal element and illegal aliens that have infiltrated communities throughout Chicago and surrounding areas. And the fight is on between this administration right now and the governor of Illinois, along with the mayor of Chicago, that are going to fight against rounding up the criminal element and bringing the gun violence and deaths every weekend that are taking place there down to zero, as they did in D.C. Let's just take a look right here.
This about threats to send the National Guard to Chicago next. Pritzker saying, quote, Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. The president responding today. Listen.
Chicago is the worst. These places are really bad. I'm such a bad governor. He should be calling me, and he should be saying, could you send over the troops, please? It's out of control.
Senior correspondent Mike Tobin reports live from Chicago this afternoon for us. Hey, Mike.
And Jillian, Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson wants to call a potential deployment of National Guard a military occupation of Chicago, and he wants to use a big public dust-up as an opportunity to plead for more federal money. One of the points that Johnson keeps making is that crime is down in the city of Chicago, and technically that is accurate. Murder, shootings, vehicle theft are all down to the tune of about 30%.
The city of Chicago is not calling for the occupation of our city. Here's a better question. What should President Trump and the federal government do to ensure that the success that we are having continues? That's what we're asking the federal government, to actually invest in our cities.
What Johnson leaves out is that violent crime is down from a dramatic high. Last year, Chicago was a homicide capital of the nation with 573 murders. The homicide rate triples Los Angeles and quadruples New York City. As far as people who live and operate in the violent parts of town, some agree with the mayor. Others say bring on the guard, any manpower that will make the streets safe.
Bringing the National Guard to Chicago is not a solution. It is an attack. It sends a message that black communities are problems to be controlled rather than people who need to be supported.
I've lost distant family members, friends, neighbors, and what they want us to do is find comfort in this chaos and normalize this trauma. And we're not doing it anymore. And that's why we need our president to come here right now and do a forensic audit to find out who's getting paid and who's benefiting from this crime, because right now we're grieving.
You all sit up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaigned and doubled down that you would not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, this is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this Negro right here first. Please come here first, because you know what? We're going to help you. We want to forensic.
Ma'am, I would ask that you keep your, hold on a second. Stop her time. Stop her time. Just a second. Stop her time. Ma'am, I would ask that you, if you want.
Well, hopefully the new regime coming in will help clean this out. But until then, we have to rely on the federal government's help to get a hold of the criminality that is going on inside the beautiful second city of Chicago. And that'll bring us to our segment of What Does It All Mean, giving you an outlook on the last week or two of what's going on in and around the nation here as we take a look right here.
This is a garbage disposal.
Donald Trump has been planning for quite a while now to deploy armed military personnel to the streets of Chicago. What President Trump is doing is unprecedented and unwarranted. It is illegal. Earlier today in the Oval Office, Donald Trump looked at the assembled cameras and asked for me personally to say, Mr. President, can you do us the honor of protecting our city? Instead, I say, Mr. President, do not come to Chicago.
I was telling some of the people that in a certain way, you really want to be asked to go. You know, I hate to barge in on a city and then be treated horribly by corrupt politicians and bad politicians like a guy like Pritzker. He ought to spend more time in the gym, actually. This guy is a disaster. You know, when I have some slob like Pritzker criticizing us before we even go there, I made the statement that next should be Chicago, because as you all know, Chicago is a killing field. But I don't like going to a town and then be criticized by some corrupt or incompetent governor. Chicago, Illinois is a disaster. I have property there. It's a disaster. And you get Pritzker, he's violating our rights.
Palestine, Palestine, Palestine. That's the new cry one more time coming out of the Palestinian that happens to sit in a seat of power in our congressional areas here by the name of Talib. And she needs to go back to her country of origin, and she can carry on like a moron there rather than bothering us with the accusations of genocide that are taking place and so on and so on. And it's almost ridiculous that that bunch of foreigners that sit in our Congress can get away with the amount of nonsense that is spread, and then aided and abetted by CNN and MSNBC and the bought and paid for propaganda arm of the Democratic Party that will put everything about her on the air. But when we need to know something about some of the corruption that took place under certain people that were powerful in this government and what we would call the deep state of Satan, in my estimation, we don't hear anything from them. But let's take a look at the plight of the Palestinians right here.
Truly comprehend, Ya Jama'ah, even after 7 decades, that we aren't going anywhere.
Don't remind me.
We are just getting started. I want to say to all of them, every genocide enabler, look at this room's mother. We ain't going anywhere.
Makes me want to vomit.
Well, folks, as I tell you all the time, we need to pray. We need to pray for the leaders around the world that are embroiled in these things, such as the Israeli government, the Ukraine government, the Russian government. And now Putin, I understand, is in a meeting with the heads of BRICS, which is China, and he's meeting with Xi Jinping and the president of India right now to decide how they're going to work against the Trump tariffs, and then also work against the threat of democracy coming around and aiding and abetting in the stoppage of these wars and things of that nature. But Putin needs to realize that the war needs to come to an end. It can't continue. The loss of life is a tremendous loss of life, loss of entire cities in some cases, and beautiful historic buildings in and around both Russia and the Ukraine have been compromised. And it's going to take a miracle to bring some of these cities back. Gaza is completely destroyed. The Ukraine has several areas right now that are rubble, and they're worried about Trump's tariffs and how Trump is going to force them into a peace talk agreement at some point. So they're worried, and they're meeting, and they're discussing this right now amongst themselves. And we don't know what they're going to come up with, but I believe that the cards, the main cards, are still being held by Donald Trump. And that'll take us into our segment today, that exit, that beautiful exit into Stupid Town one more time. Hold on.
If you make fun of me one more time, I will exterminate all of you idiots.
Yeah, I agree with Kimmy Boy.
Kimmy, baby, if you ever talk to me that way again, you'll be eating nuclear warheads for breakfast. And Vlad, you can shut the f*** up. No one even likes you. Stop pretending to be a James Bond villain.
First time in their lives. They can use the parks, they can walk on the streets. You have people who can walk freely at night without having to worry about being robbed or mugged. They're wearing their watches again. They're wearing jewelry again. They're carrying purses again.
Can I just say,
you talked about the watch? I took my watch. I bet you took the car service here. I bet you get chauffeured around. When was the last time you were on the subway? When was the last time you were in Brownsville?
Let me tell you something. You have no idea about my life.
Okay, so when was the last time you were in New York City subway? Tell us.
Last week. But can I just say really quickly, Abby, because anytime that we play something from Stephen Miller, it would be journalistic integrity to point out that he is a white supremacist and he is the brainchild behind this policy. That's not my opinion, that's actual fact.
What a bunch of dumbasses. Yeah, really. Wow.
There is no secret of what I want from the federal government. $800 million that he took from cities like Chicago for violence prevention. What a slap in the face to the people who serve this city to try to override local authority, ensure that we are collaborating to get guns off the streets of Chicago. We're stopping guns being trafficked in from states that voted for him. And so now we do all of this hard work, this group assignment in the city of Chicago, and he wants to come at the end of the year before the assignment is due to try to put his name on the paper. He is reckless and out of control. He is the biggest threat to our democracy than we've experienced in the history of our country.
Of course, thoughts and prayers, fine, great. That's not good enough. We have more guns in America than people. Why? Why is it so easy to get a gun? Why is it so easy to get a whole heap ton of guns? Why is it that you can buy a gun virtually every month if you wanted to?
Stop saying shit like that.
We're not talking about your father's hunting rifle. I'm not an expert on every statutory section of gun law. What I do know is that we have too many of them. Why is that okay? Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize trans people has completely lost touch with the common humanity. This whole effort to villainize a community, this is not about a community. I mean, thoughts and prayers, like these kids were literally praying. Why are we okay with that collectively?
You are a douchebag.
I just want everybody to know in my fucking life in this world that all you pieces of shit don't understand that I have been forced to push my body through so many things that I have not been able to handle. You guys all got so much money and support and everybody can support you, but I had to get pushed through labor and struggling and all these jobs and places where like I could never go up from and whatever. I did not get the life that you guys ever did. I was never able to go up. Nobody supported me. Remember, Grandma supported you. Everybody supported you. Everybody supported you guys. I had no support. I struggled. Me and my kids struggled. Everybody in my life struggled. We struggled. We did not get hand-me-outs. We did not get help. Like, the hand-me-outs I'm getting is so goddamn pathetic. It's like, it's pathetic. Like, you don't even understand. I got people leaving me things on my front porch as, like, little necessities surviving. It's not enough to even do like the bare minimum in a day's meal. It's pathetic. It's pathetic the way even the schools help you and children youth help you. Like, all the shit that I've ever been forced to go through, it's been a joke. It's been a fucking joke, and I'm so sick and tired of everybody acting like everything they do is so good to help people, and it's not a help. It's not yeah, whatever. Like, you're not there. You don't even know. Like, I'm on the bottom of the fucking barrel. Like, I can barely get fucking out of it to survive. Everybody keeps kicking me back down here, and I can't get out of it. I just desire to get out of it. Struggle all my life. All my life I've struggled. I've just tried so hard to get out, and it's never going anywhere. Never going anywhere. So, yep.
Well, that's your visit to Stupid Town. And as I always tell you here, and Kaiser, if he wasn't asleep, would back me up on that. But we ask you to please pray every day that our government comes to its senses and stops the infighting between parties and does something that they were elected to do, which is make life better and more profitable for all of us here that are citizens of this country and have elected these people to do our voice in the hallowed halls of Congress, which they have made a miserable attempt at over the last couple of decades here that have not been pretty. And I can take you all the way back to FDR on this. It's not a good thing. The corruption that is now coming out as being evident and has been covered up by the media, and that includes all the mainstream stuff like newspapers and all the TV stations, all of these people that are hell-bent on giving you just one shaded bit of news at a time that was written for them to say. We don't have Edward R. Murrow anymore. We don't have Cronkite. We don't have people that came on and told you what the news of the day was without a considered directional opinion that is forced on us every day by the talking heads that are on the TV that we all felt that we were getting the true information from, but now it's gone back to where the things that are coming out right now, I watched something with Roger Stone recently that it is pointed out, even the death of John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy is out now. The news is out. We know the truth in some cases, and there's a lot of speculation on some of the things that have taken place most recently in our life, and that includes the attempted assassination on Donald Trump while he ran for his second term as president here, very recent in your mind. And this kind of nonsense and weaponization of our Justice Department, our CIA, our intelligence agencies, right on up to people that are sitting in the White House making decisions in the last 4 years. It's been a joke that they got away with the things that they did, and it's all coming out now. And the biggest stoppage of everything Donald Trump is directly related to you and I finding out what was the truth, what really happened amongst all of this, and why it happened. It's the lack or the need for power and superiority of the elites that want to make you think that they are better than you and I. And in some cases, they are far worse off than anyone that you've ever seen in your life. These are people that are taking care of themselves and could give a darn less about the American people who voted them in to the seat of power that they do not now want to relinquish. And the bad behavior whilst they were there is being exposed now, and they do not want you to know that. It's like a few good men. They believe that you can't handle the truth. So that makes them superior to who? To no one. Because we are not silly people. We are now have our eyes open to what took place, when it took place, and what the future will bring if we let socialism, communism, and downright deviant behavior become the norm in this country. And it's up to us, the voters, to make sure in the midterm elections, as well as 2028, that we have the proper people going into our government service that will not steal, will not lie, and actually have accomplished something in their life to give them the ability to go in to an elected office with knowledge that they have gained through actual working amongst the people that they represent. And that would be a refreshing change. No more career politicians should ever be elected ever again in this country. It should be as designed in the Constitution and by our founding fathers, that you come out of your walk of life, donate your time and talents to that elected position, go home and give someone else of like mind a chance at their time to make things better in the United States of America, not fundamentally change America into ideology that is not beneficial to anyone except the minions of hell that have been allowed to run roughshod in this government over the last few decades. And with that, we're going to wish you a very happy Taco Tuesday. Get out, get some tacos, enjoy life. Enjoy life every day. And thank God every day for the beautiful country that you live in and the beautiful ability you have to be anyone you want to be in this country. And thank God for our existence every day. And please pray to your God for direction to enter into the world's leaders and into the minds of the people that have been devoid of common sense for so long now. And with that, I'm going to tell you, and Kaiser's right here with me to tell you, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more information and a look-see at what does it all mean and a look into Stupid Town for what it shouldn't be, but is. Bye-bye now.